Let's get it. We got to be quick, Charlie.
Yep. All right. What's up, everyone? Back for another episode on a Saturday. How's everyone doing? D, you got a game tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Got a game tomorrow live from Spain. We play FC Barcelona, the team that Pau Gasol just signed with. So,
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. He did
nice.
just sign. Yep. So, big game for you tomorrow. Q, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing this weekend?
Good. Can't complain. But let's get into it. So, over the week, they announced the All-Star reserves. And I'll read the East All-Star reserves were Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, James Harden, Zach Levine, Julius Randle, Ben Simmons, Nikola Vucevic, and then Sabonis is filling in for Kevin Durant. And then the West was AD, Paul George, Rudy Gobert, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, Zion Williamson, Devin Booker is filling in for AD. Did you guys think anyone should have made it that didn't, or did make it that maybe shouldn't have?
you can start, Q.
Yeah. So I'll just start with the East side. I kind of wanted to ride with my picks. When Michael and I talked about it a couple podcasts ago, I thought everybody that I listed beforehand was going to make it, and I initially thought Trae Young was going to get in, essentially because he's a top 10 scorer in the NBA. He's averaging like 27 points.
Who?
Trae Young,
Top two?
top 10.
Top 10.
So he's averaging 27 and 10 assists, 5 rebounds. And, I was trying to take into account why he would miss it. And like, I don't think they're taking into account like team wins and stuff like that, because like Nikola Vucevic made it. And so I honestly thought Trae Young was going to make it over Ben Simmons, but the Sixers have been playing well, and Ben Simmons is arguably the best defensive player in the league besides Rudy Gobert. So I don't see how you can keep him out. But
Ben's also almost averaging a triple-double on the best record in the East. I think that
Yeah.
played a huge factor into why he made it.
yeah, so I thought Trae Young was going to make it, but besides that, I also thought Sabonis was initially going to make it as well. He's putting up good numbers, but Vucevic is doing his thing with the Magic. So that's just my perspective on the East. I thought Trae Young and Sabonis were initially going to make it over Ben and Vucevic, but that's just how it panned out. And I would say on the West side, I honestly think it should stay how it is. I thought that Devin Booker might have had the slight edge over CP3 though. But CP3 he's still doing his thing, and the Suns look very promising right now. And CP3 is replacing AD, which is fair, but initially I thought Devin Booker would get the nod over him. So other than that, I think it was a fair selection, but every year we're gonna have snubs regardless. So
Yeah.
what about you?
Think?
In the West, I think Dame Lillard should have been an All-Star starter. He's definitely slept on year in and year out. Like Dame is, I think, top 3 player in the West. So he's a top 3 player in the West, healthy and active right now. I think he should be a starter. In the West, you got Bron. I think Dame is in the top 3. I won't even say AD because he's not playing right now, but I think those like Dame and Bron are like 2 of the best, and Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Those are the 2, like 3 best in the West. So Luka, I think a lot of the stuff is like when there's a lot of buzz, when there's a lot of revenue that could be made from somebody, when there's a lot of hype and stuff to follow. That also is a factor in because the All-Star game is a moneymaker. So I think that Luka, obviously, like there is no wrong choice when you look at the players. They're all great players. They're all very deserving. I think Dame could have easily have been a starter. Luka is not a bad choice for a starter as well. It's like a great choice also. I think that CP3 is obviously doing his thing, but I think D-Book is having a better all-around season than CP3 statistically. Chris Paul may mean more to the team, or like maybe vital to them winning and turning around, but D-Book is having better stats. So all in all, D-Book should have got the nod before CP3, and CP3 could have just replaced AD. But I mean, they're all in there, so I guess it doesn't really matter. The NBA always finds ways to maneuver and get the people in when there's enough complaints. In the West, yeah, I think the West was pretty good. Trae Young could have definitely been in the game, but like you said, Ben Simmons is doing some undeniable stuff this year. But there's a lot of players that are having great statistic years. So I don't know what they were going off of this year, but there's a lot of people having stats. So I guess it's got to be more than just statistics this year.
Yeah, I think I agree with the Devin Booker thing. I think Damian Lillard should 100% been a starter. Like you said though, like Luka's probably going to get that nod every time just because of the fan voting. He's probably going to get way more fan votes. But I mean, Damian Lillard, they're the 5 seed. The Mavs aren't in the playoffs right now. He's averaging 29, 8, and 4. Luka's 28, 9, and 8. Yeah, great stats. But I mean, I would just give like Damian Lillard, I would give the nod to start. And then also like I think Sabonis should have been in it to begin with. I don't think Nikola should have been in it. Like the Magic suck. Sabonis is averaging basically the same stats on a team that at the time when they announced it, the Pacers were the 4 seed in the East. So, but other than that, I think it's pretty set. I think why Trae Young didn't make it was because they already had 5 guards in the reserves, and you can kind of consider Ben Simmons as a guard. So they're going to give it to a forward or a center. But yeah, I do think Damian Lillard should have started for sure. Like, I just think winning should definitely matter. But like you said, like they're always going to find their way to do something how they want to do it. It will be interesting though, because like if like KD isn't playing, so does he still draft his team?
Oh
I
yeah.
assume.
Who would you guys say Damian Lillard starts over Luka?
I personally, just because like I think you got to give Steph the nod this year. I mean, without Clay, that he's playing insane, and then they are like 3 front court players all had more votes and stuff like that. So I think they're all gonna get it. I would say Luka.
What about you, Dave?
I would say I would definitely say Luka. I would say Dame, Steph, Bron, and two bigs.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi, and then 1 big. So yeah, I definitely like Rudy Gobert or something like that. I definitely think that like
Jokic.
I feel like Luka. Jokic. Sorry, I think that Luka's like, what's the difference between Luka and Donovan Mitchell? Like, it's pretty. I think they're pretty similar in terms of like production for a team. Obviously, Luka's has the ball. Like his pick and roll. His numbers are so high. Like he has the ball so much in his hands all game long. Like that is, he is the franchise player, and he has the ball all game long. More than he probably has the highest usage rate, one of the highest usage rates in the NBA.
Yeah.
And so of course you're gonna put up good numbers, but
he probably 100% has the highest usage rate, because think of like the only other players, like James Harden doesn't, especially now that he's in Brooklyn. Like all these other players, I couldn't really see. Luka definitely probably does.
Yeah, because they're on better teams.
Watch the games. Luka has the ball all game long, and like a lot of, if they win is on him, and if they lose it's on him because he has the ball so much. He makes pretty much everything happen all game long.
Yeah. That's what I would say the difference between Donovan and Luka is that Donovan's team is just all around playing a lot better now. So he doesn't have to rely on just pick and rolls and having the ball in his hand and going ISO all the time. Whereas Luka, if you said, they live and die by him.
But if Donovan, if he's getting similar numbers, isn't that better? Isn't that better? Like similar numbers for a lower usage rate, that means his efficient, like his efficiency would go up.
Definitely one of the more efficient players, and sure.
Not just look at the team's records. Like the Mavs are fighting for a playoff spot, and the Jazz are the best record in the NBA. But yeah, Luka does have the highest usage rate in the NBA.
He does.
Yes, with Bradley Beal as 2, Joel Embiid as 3, Giannis as the next one. So the guy who's number 1, I can't pronounce his name. He plays for the Wizards. He's only played 6 minutes. In those 6 minutes, he had a 38% usage rate, which is above Luka. Luka has a 35, but Donovan Mitchell is at a 31. So, I mean, he's 4 less. Like, I just think efficiency should definitely matter. But like you said, it's an all-star game. They're never gonna actually look at that, in my opinion. Like, especially fans. A lot of fans don't really look at that, but I think it should matter. But I mean, I don't know.
Who
I
do,
agree because Donovan Mitchell is having a great season on the best team in the league right now.
Yep.
who do y'all think Bron? Who do you think Bron and KD both picks first? Like
Ooh.
they say like
I
yeah,
bet
first.
if Bron
Not
gets
reserves. I guess starters and then we could do reserves.
yeah, I bet if Bron gets the first pick, he will go.
Does Bron pick Kyrie this year or no?
I bet KD might pick Kyrie first, just if he gets the first pick. But I think Bron would go Giannis or Steph.
Yeah, I agree.
Giannis? Steph?
I think Steph or Kawhi gets picked first, or Giannis. I would say Steph, Kawhi, or Giannis. One of those
Oh
three.
yeah, Bron. I could see LeBron picking Kawhi.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to go against them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And he also doesn't have to go. He also doesn't have to go against KD. I think he would pick Kawhi. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he would go Kawhi, but I think Giannis, Steph, or Kawhi. Like I said.
Yeah.
What about you, D?
Yeah, I would say I could see Bron picking Kawhi to make it seem like everything's all good and gravy, between the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, let me pick up my guy Kai.
Yeah.
I could see him picking him up. I could see Steph coming off the board first because
Yeah.
his shooting ability. But surprisingly enough, Luka may be picked up early. I mean, because he's like, what is he? The youngest guy in there, so he's probably gonna be one of the most active players. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna actually be doing a lot. I feel like the older players don't play as hard.
Yeah.
It take a longer time to play hard, but the younger guys go harder from early on, trying to make a case for their all-star abilities.
Right.
I think this is like perfect for Steph though. Like the way he shoots and everything. He might be the first person picked.
Remember, Kawhi last year was cooking. He was like he hit
Yeah, that's why I said his name.
killing last year. He hit hella threes.
Hey, who do you guys think would be the last player picked?
Out of the starters,
not from starters, just overall, like the last from the reserves.
Sabonis or Nikola.
Oh yeah, Vucevic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both great players, but for an all-star game,
Yeah.
They don't fit the format. Yeah.
Who do you think the first reserve is going to be for our?
Bron's picking D-Book.
I think James Harden.
Bron's picking who?
I think Bron's gonna pick D-Book. I don't know if he's gonna be the first, but I think he's gonna pick. Oh, Dame Lillard too.
Oh yeah.
After his comments of like those are the two most underappreciated players in the league, I think he'll pick one of them for sure, like real quick.
Pick one. If not, let him rock out.
You think?
Yeah, I would say Dame Lillard or James Harden.
I was gonna say I could see LeBron, or I mean, if KD gets the first pick, I feel like he'd pick James Harden too.
Rudy Gobert goes hard in that game too. You remember last year he was the only one playing hard from the first half.
He's trying to catch.
And he can block shots and all that stuff, which like people don't expect in the All-Star game. He could be a good pick. But
he's the type of person that like gets in the way of the dunks and stuff to try to.
It'll be interesting for players like Zach Levine, Jaylen Brown, and those kind of players though, because like it's tough to like All-Star games are such a different game, and like you kind of see like players in their first All-Star game, they don't always shoot the ball well. I think people try to do too much. So like, but if Zach Levine or Jaylen Brown get hot, like both of them can shoot the rock. So
who has the worst shooting performance in All-Star? Because last year I think Trae Young was like shooting really bad last year in the All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Who do you think plays who do you think just plays terrible?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Like
they're messing around, not like the bad shots becomes messing around. You know what I mean? Like so now I'm just messing around trying to get dunks.
I would see Ben Simmons probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, but because like I feel like Jalen and Zach Levine, or I don't know, because Ben can do like he can dunk and stuff like that. I feel like Ben Simmons though, because I feel like if he starts playing like shit, he'll just be like, all right, whatever. I feel like Zach Levine and Jaylen Brown, if they start playing like shit, they're gonna try to get a few dunks and stuff just to like make it look like they played a good first All-Star game and that kind of thing. Like I
Yeah.
think Ben can coast and just be like, all right, like whatever. I just made another All-Star game. But
I can see
also,
Giannis shooting bad, like
Who?
shooting like he's Giannis trying to shoot
Yeah.
like ranges and threes.
yeah, that's true. Like, because last year he did come out trying to dunk everything. If they put like if Joel's on LeBron's team and or someone's guarding him and he just tries to start chucking threes, I mean it could get ugly because he has not been shooting that.
Also, too, with the All-Star format, like depending on who's picked up, you got to pick a team not just based off the best players, but a team since it's like an actual winning and it's a goal. I think it's for charity again.
Yeah.
You got to pick a team that is gonna like say
Play together, yeah.
AD team has Giannis. You need players to be in that paint. Like you probably need JoJo. You probably need, you know what I mean, people in that paint to keep Giannis from just running fast break, dunking everything. You know what I mean? So
that's why I think like having Zion would be perfect because Zion's gonna go all out. I think like
Zion's a beast.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like he can step in the paint, he can do all that, and like it's his first All-Star game, so I think he's gonna try to go crazy. So like I think he would be a great pick just because of that aspect. Like, you know, someone gets a little lazy, just wants a little dunk, like he's gonna go up there and try to block it.
Yep.
So, that's
Nobody
why
wants to jump with him either. So.
Yeah, but that's why Rudy Gobert is a perfect pick too, because he does the same thing and he can block a lot of shots.
Yep.
All-Star MVP predictions?
I'm gonna go Steph.
I wish KD was playing, man. I'm gonna go Kyrie.
Okay.
I'll stay with the point guards. I'll go Damian Lillard.
Okay.
All right. 10 in the pot.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I'll throw 10 in. But if neither of them get it, then it just cancels out.
Yeah, if none of them get it and we all lose, it all.
What day is the All-Star game? What's the day for it?
It's like March 9th or something like that. It's in like a week and a half or 2 weeks.
All right, March 9th. Mark your
So-
calendars. Sounds good. What's the
All right.
next?
So let's get into who do we think is the most underrated player in the league? He doesn't have to be all-star or anything, but just who do you think the most underappreciated, underrated player in the league?
You go first this time, D.
Dang, that's a tough question, man. That's a tough question. Underrated player in the league. I'll give one from East Side. I'm gonna go with in the East. Dang. Wow. In the East, I'm gonna go with underrated player in the league. I'm gonna go with maybe Trae Young. Because I mean, he's not like you don't hear much buzz about Trae Young. Like Atlanta doesn't have like I thought they had a big market, but I guess Atlanta doesn't have like a big market, a big following. Like
they really don't. I mean, you remember when they were really good with Teague and Horford and all then? Like no one really still talked about them then either. So
like I really haven't heard much about Trae Young this year. And the Q said he's averaging top 10 in the league in scoring, top 5, top 3 in the league.
I was just looking. He's number 3 in assists. I was just looking at that.
Yeah. So I think when you're on a team like that, when you're on a team that's not winning, you get overlooked a bit. You see the case of him not even being an all-star. And I think that Trae Young in the East. There's other guys that are role players, but I guess I'm speaking strictly stars right now. There's a lot of role players that are overlooked. Like Joe Harris does a lot for that Brooklyn team, facing the floor, making shots. You know, there's guys all over the board. But I think in terms of stars, lead players and stuff like that, I would go him. Bradley Beal, I think, is getting the recognition he deserves this year. Yeah. In the West, I'm gonna go with underrated player in the league. I'm gonna go with probably Dame in the West. I think Dame is a problem every single night. Dame is a problem. I think De'Aaron Fox is also very underrated in the West as well. Speaking of players who have their own teams, you know. So De'Aaron and Dame, I think, in the West.
Q.
So I'm gonna think of 2 guys for each conference, and I have to say for the East is Zach Levine. I'm going to piggyback off what D said. I think he's starting to get his attention now, but now that he blossomed after that ACL injury and he moved on from the Timberwolves, he's kind of like taking the Bulls by their horns, and he's just been balling out, man. I didn't mean to make that corny, but yeah, he's just been balling out, dude. Like
he's been killing.
Yeah, like he is a problem. Like he can go and get you 35, 40 a night if he's locked in and focused. But I don't think he gets the recognition that he deserves because the Bulls have just been a bottom tier team. And also I'd have to say Julius Randle from the Knicks. Like he he's been killing as well. And he's bounced around in the league a little bit now too, but I think he's found his spot with that Knicks team, and they're on the rise. They're I think 16 and 17 now, and they could potentially make the playoffs. Like
they're making the playoffs this year, bro.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna make the playoffs.
Like they're in that range that he's talking about, that 16 and 17 range. There's a lot of teams, and some teams will start making that separation.
But also this year is 7 through 10 are playing that play-in. So like they just have to be the 10 seed and they can make the playoffs.
Dang.
So yeah, I think Julius Randle is on the rise. He's starting to get that recognition that he deserves, and he's a double-double machine every night. So just be on the lookout for Julius Randle. He's on the come up as well. And from the West, I would have to say, I'd have to agree with De'Aaron Fox. I think he's a top 10 point guard in the NBA right now. Just with the way that he's playing, his speed is incredible. I think that if he just gets a couple more pieces around him, that the Kings could be a good team because they have so much young talent that they can build around with Marvin Bagley, and Tyrese Halliburton.
He's
now good. Buddy Hield. So they have a promising young core, but they just don't have enough to make it out of the West, obviously.
Give the coach.
Yep. And so then the other superstar that I think that is underrated in the NBA, I think is Jamal Murray. And I feel like Jamal Murray is a problem, dude. And he wasn't even considered to be an all-star. No. And he's a guy that can literally get you 50. Yeah. 50. Yeah. So I think Jamal Murray is a guy that is also a person that is underrated, but never really gets the looks because I don't know if it has to do with what he did with Shorty before the bubble or just, what has been going on.
That'd be better publicity for them then.
I think Jamal Murray has to play like Donovan Mitchell role where his team has to be a top 3 seed for him to ever get an all-star look.
Yeah, but the Nuggets are good though, which is crazy.
Hey,
they're the 8th seed though. They're tied with 3 teams as the 8th seed.
In the West though.
Yeah, but like they're not that good. But that's what I'm saying though. You have that many other players in the West though. Like in the West though, it's you pick West and East. So like for all-stars. So like that's where he's gonna run into that problem. Yeah. I do think he'll be an all-star if they do finish like they have the best record like the Jazz one year. Like I think Jamal Murray will definitely be an all-star. Until then though,
they were I thought the Nuggets were top 3 last year.
They were.
Yeah, they were. I mean,
they didn't say shit about him.
That's what I'm saying. I think Jamal Murray is very underrated.
That's a good point, Q. Jamal Murray is underrated. His team is good. He's putting up numbers. He's
like it's Jokic. It's Jokic and Jamal, and then like
puts highlights up. You know what I mean?
They did go to the Western Conference Finals last year. Like, and he was a very big.
Him and Donovan were going at it.
Yeah, so
that was dope to see, man.
Nobody talks about Jamal Murray, so it's just like I don't know, man. I think he's very underrated.
I agree with that.
Who's one star that will never make an all-star game?
CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
True.
Like he's hurt, but even if he's healthy, I don't think he'll ever get in.
Facts. I agree with you. That is one star.
That's a good one.
Like he is more than deserving. Definitely could be on a team every single year.
And I honestly think
ever get on a team, bro.
I honestly think if he hasn't made it now, he's definitely never making it. So like I think his previous years were his best chances. Because like every year you have like a brand new young guy that scores 26 that the league's excited about that's gonna get the nod over CJ every time. So like it just hurts his chances each year. He's gotta like Dame has to be hurt one year damn near and he has to score 30, and that's like the only way he'd get in.
Yep.
But I think Jimmy Butler is super underrated just because he took his teams to the final and everyone just was like, oh, they're in the bubble. That's why. He's been out for like 13 games. The Heat took a little slide. He's come back. They're like, I want to say they're 11 and like 4 since he's come back. He had a triple double in like 3 straight games. He took that Heat team with all those young guys to the finals. actually competed when no one gave them a chance. Like, I think he's super underrated. I think if he played the full year this year, they would be a top 4 seed in the East right now, which they still can be because the East is not that great. And then I also think that he would definitely be an all-star. And then in the West, I think Draymond Green is super underrated just because everyone always gives all the credit to Steph and Clay, which deservingly so. They make all the baskets and stuff. But Golden State over the past like 5 years when Draymond Green doesn't play has a below 500 record. So he is so vital to their team, and they're going to make the playoffs this year without Klay Thompson, bringing in new guys, bringing in young guys. Steph's going off, clearly, everyone knows that, but like Draymond Green is almost a triple-double every night. So I think he on a winning team too.
I think those two might be. I agree with you completely. Those are two of the top. Like, to be honest, Steph obviously is amazing, but Draymond helps Steph out so because Draymond's the one who knows how to just give it and give it right back. You know what I mean? Like, he can give it, clear some space and give it right back to Steph.
Exactly.
You know, open looks. Like, Steph would obviously do a lot. He's done a lot of this without Draymond, but like Draymond definitely helps him. Jimmy Butler, I agree. He's just all around just a winner. Like, he's a winner. He's gonna win games. He's gonna defense, offense.
I mean,
those are both two like extremely good vocal leaders as well, and they're both the glue to their teams.
And the year before Jimmy took Miami to the finals,
slept on too.
He took. I mean, Philly. They were a Kawhi bounce away from going to play the Bucks. Who, I mean, they lost to the Raptors, who ended up winning it all, but they were a Kawhi Leonard jump shot bounce away from beating them too. So it's like, I mean, Jimmy Butler's been winning for a while. So, those are my two picks.
We got 8 minutes. We got one more topic.
Yep, one more topic. So, Zlatan, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name.
Oh, Zlatan.
Zlatan. He's a European soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to speak out, which I don't know why he decided to go back to Europe and then speak out. But he basically was saying, and he singled out LeBron in his quote, but he was basically saying he doesn't like when athletes or famous people or anyone speaks up politically or about stuff that they don't know. He thinks people should have to do research basically to make these comments. I would like, and also like, I think LeBron's like the one person who probably does do his research and homework when they speak out on these kind of things. And also, I don't know why you would go after LeBron, but this guy, like, I'm going to pull up a few quotes by him. This guy is maybe the most insane person ever. He was in a interview, and the guy, he said, the guy asked him a question. He said, you'd have to ask God to get that answer. And the guy said, well, I don't know how I'll be able to ask God. And he said, well, you're talking to him right now. He said, my ex-girlfriend got the greatest gift in life. And the reporter said, what's that? And he said, she got to date me for 2 months. Like, this guy is one of the most outspoken, absurd people in the world. So, like, for anyone to take this seriously, I think is like, you shouldn't, because this guy is very outspoken. But what were you guys' thoughts on all this?
So yeah, I think that, you know, people have kind of like been coming at LeBron and these NBA players for over the past year or so, saying that they need to just stick to basketball and, you know, just shy away from the political scene. But it's just kind of ignorant at this point. And like, everybody has the right to their own opinions and their own speech. They're going to say whatever they want to say. And I mean, LeBron spoke out about it. And I think, well, one, I don't know why Ibrahimovic would come at LeBron because he's the face of the NBA, and he means so much to so many people. So obviously LeBron is going to speak out for what he believes and for social injustice and for the people in his communities, the people across the country that are suffering. I mean, he just has a huge platform. So I don't see why you would want him to just strictly stick to basketball when so many people look up to him. So that's how I initially felt. It just seemed ignorant. Like, LeBron is who he is. And I think that like LeBron's just going to brush it off his shoulders and keep doing what he's doing regardless. So,
yeah. I think I agree with y'all. I think that, I mean, first off, you know, we're taking a step back. Like, the state back home in the States is much different than Europe in terms of politics and everything like that. And I also noticed that just like the reach of the athletes, like in Europe, like these star athletes, it just like seems a lot different than in the States. Like I guess in the States, the athletes seem a lot more accessible. You'll see them at, charity events. You'll see them, like you can see an athlete, even though people idolize in the States, you could see an athlete, like they're like
Yeah.
a human being. But I feel like some of these big stars, like you would never see those people. And that's just my perspective from, I'm not from Europe, but it seems like they're so far, like, I forget which soccer player it was. It was like Messi or Ronaldo was like the most followed person on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah, it's Ronaldo.
He's like so unreachable, you know what I mean? That like they just seem so far gone. But
Just
now
not really part of society.
yeah,
Honestly. Yeah.
yeah. Like I pulled up a quote from Martin Luther King, and it says, "The time is always right to do the right thing." And I feel like if we don't push the needle forward, or if we don't at least try to do like something, then who will? You know what I mean? So I commend LeBron for, and a lot of the athletes and just everybody who's tried to do right by people who can't do right by themselves. I think that I like Russell Westbrook's opening a school in LA, middle school, high school, like things like that are so amazing. And like hopefully, they give them like a better education than they could have had going to other schools and stuff like that. And I just love when you see somebody stepping out of their element to do what's right, or to do something to push society forward, to have a positive effect on those who will come after them. The people from what I've learned, the people who are most remembered and the people who leave the longest legacy and the people that are truly timeless are the people who not only do what they did greatly, but also step outside of themselves and try to transcend, just time itself and trying to do what's right. So,
For sure.
long story short, I'm happy that LeBron spoke up. I'm happy that LeBron said something. I didn't see like the full quote, like from like what he actually said. I just seen, the Instagram quote. And to LeBron, like that's the king, man. He kept it light. Like, I'm always do the right thing. I'm always do what I believe is right. I'm always try to stand up for that, like the little guy, and do what's right. So
Yeah. To your point too, I also think like that's what is America is about. Maybe people don't agree with it, but you're able to speak out, you're able to speak up, and you're able to say what you want. And like other countries like Ennis Cantor, for example, if he ever spoke about his government, they were trying to basically kill him. So like that's like one thing that America is about. And I don't Zlatan or whatever you say his name, like where he's from, maybe famous people don't speak about politics, maybe they don't have a say or whatever, but like America is definitely different where you know people are encouraged to do that, or people have such big followings. And I do agree, I do think that like European famous people, they're like not part of society, so they don't see anything going on. Like they want to open a school like LeBron did and understand that a lot of people and LeBron, coming from what LeBron came from, like Ronaldo probably didn't come from that kind of thing either. So it's like these people don't really come up from the same thing or like experience stuff like that. And that's why like people in America, I mean, athletes and famous people always speak up. I just think it's like, they think it's right. And
yeah,
that's like the good thing about America that you're able to do. You can speak up if you want to. And, you're not going to get threatened by your government like Ennis Cantor did. I'm sure other countries are, I'm sure if you spoke up against Russia, you would get like, so like that's just LeBron. You can't fault him because it's a free speech country. So
yeah.
whatever he says, and that's how he believes, and that he
I
can
think
say what he
too,
wants.
like